For the past few months, we've been converting this Ford Transit into a camper van, and we're at the point in the project where we had to build a countertop from scratch. And we had a few pieces of hardwood ash laying around the shop, which would be perfect for this project. But first, we had to cut it down to the right size because this piece of ash is 2.5 inches thick, and we want it to be 1 inch thick. So I ran this block of wood down a table saw to cut it right down the middle before running it through the planer. And I set the thickness of the planer down to 1 inch. Next, I had to put all the pieces together, so I decided to use my dowel jig, which made my life a lot easier. I only paid like 28 bucks for this thing. I'll link it down in the description below. And there's many other ways to join pieces of wood together, but this way works just fine, especially if you're on a budget. And some of you might ask, why am I going through the trouble of building my own countertop when I can just go buy one at Home Depot? Well, the simple answer is, I just like to build shit. And now that all my dowel holes are drilled out, it's time to put all these pieces together, but first I give it a nice sand before adding some wood glue. Then I spread the wood glue, put the dowels in, then gently tap it together. And if you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to click that subscribe button because it really helps our channel grow. And now that the countertop is all glued together, it's time to clamp it and let it sit for 24 hours. Now it's officially the next day, and I took the clamps off and pulled out the hand planer to plane this thing a little bit because it had a couple high spots. And once it felt nice and smooth on both sides, I got some sandpaper and I used 180 grit, then 320 grit to make this thing nice and smooth. And while I sanded the countertop, Hope was inside of the van painting the textured walls this nice gray color that she chose, which looks so nice. And once I finished sanding the countertop, it was time to stain this thing, and I forgot the name of the stain, but I will link it down in the description below. And this is that moment where I'm like, damn, I'm happy I didn't buy a pre-made countertop and I made my own, because it just looks so damn beautiful. But now that the countertop is nice and stained, it was time to bring this thing into the van to see how it fits before adding the piano hinge. So this piece of countertop is going to work as a cover for our toilet area, so it needs to open and close. Which is why we picked up this matte black piano hinge that we cut the size to make sure this thing opens and closes really nice. So now that we have the piano hinge screwed into place, it was time to bring the countertop into the van to install it. So we cut an extra piece of wood, then drilled pocket holes into it for extra support, then drilled the countertop into the piece of wood. Then it was time to install a lock, so we chose to use these 10-pound resistant locks, which we bought off of Amazon. Then it was time to take a quick beer break, so we went into our fridge and we had a few Heinekens laying around, so we cracked them open and did a quick cheers. And of course got right back to work and installed our locking latches from RV Labs. Then clipped our cabinet face that we made last week onto the cabinet. And we love the way this hidden toilet area is turning out. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, but let's move on to the next day. So we woke up nice and early because we were excited to build our bed/bench area. So we started off by drilling a hole for our water gauge so we can look at it while we take outdoor showers and know how much water we have left. I then wired up the water gauge while Hope did some finishing touches on the van. And once I finished wiring up the water gauge, it was time to assemble the bench. So on one side of the van we have our battery box, and on the other side we have our water tank box, and we want to make them both accessible. And this took a lot of planning to make sure everything is measured out properly because it's also going to work as a storage area. We then cut out 5 slats that will work as supports for the back part of the bed. After we screwed them all into place, we cut out the other side of the bench, installed it, and that's it for today, guys. The next time you see us, it'll be the official final reveal day, so make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell notification button to stay up to date when we post the final reveal video. Thank you for watching. Peace.